What if I told you that most women lose the man they once prayed for, not because he changed, but because they stopped doing the very things that made him stay in the first place? Sit with that thought for a moment. Imagine a man, strong, loyal, loving, and committed, walking out the door, not because he wanted someone else, not because he stopped loving, but because he no longer felt seen, respected, or valued. That's the tragedy many women never admit. They thought love was enough, but they forgot that keeping a good man requires more than just love. It requires effort, presence, and emotional intelligence. And if you're a man listening right now, I want you to realize this. You are not hard to love. You are not asking for too much. The right woman knows that keeping you means protecting the bond she built with you. But the wrong woman will take your loyalty for granted until it's too late. Men rarely speak about this, but the truth is, being a good man is lonely sometimes. You sacrifice, you commit, you hold steady when storms come. Yet, many women assume that because you're strong, you don't need care. That's where the biggest mistake happens, because even the strongest men have quiet needs that, when ignored, start to erode the foundation of love. And women who understand this psychology, women who know how to protect the heart of a man, are the ones who never lose him. Here's what most people don't tell you. A man doesn't leave because of one argument or one bad day. He leaves because of a slow death of appreciation. It's the years of feeling invisible, the constant dismissal of his efforts, the lack of softness when he needs it most. Women often believe men only want respect, but the truth is deeper. What men crave is the feeling that their presence matters, that their sacrifices aren't just noticed, but cherished. And yet, very few women are taught this. They're told men don't need reassurance. They're told men should just be men and keep giving without expecting anything back. But psychology proves otherwise. A man thrives in an environment where his value is affirmed, where he feels that who he is, not just what he provides, is loved. Without this, even the most loyal man starts to question, am I really seen? Or am I just being used? This is the exact moment relationships begin to fracture, and often no one notices until he's already emotionally gone. But here's the secret. Women who never lose a good man understand. They never stop nurturing the bond. They never stop seeing him, respecting him, admiring him, and making him feel alive in the relationship. They know that keeping him is not about grand gestures, it's about daily choices that protect his heart. In this video, I'm going to reveal 7 things women must do if they truly want to keep a good man by their side. 7 truths most women ignore, but the ones who embrace them, they never fear losing the love of a loyal man. So if you're watching, listen carefully, not just with your ears, but with your heart. Because understanding these truths could be the difference between a love that lasts and a love that slowly fades away. The very first thing a woman must do if she never wants to lose a good man is this. She must respect him, not just in words, but in how she treats him every single day. Respect is oxygen for a man's soul. Without it, he suffocates. A woman can say, I love you 1,000 times, but if her tone drips with contempt, if her words cut deeper than any knife, if her attitude makes him feel small, those 3 words lose their power. Here's what many women don't realize. Men are not starving for constant flattery, but they are starving for recognition. Admiration is not about empty compliments. It's about truly seeing the strength, discipline, and sacrifices he brings into her life and honoring them. When a woman admires her man, he walks taller. He becomes even more of the man she fell in love with. But when admiration fades, he begins to shrink, not because he is weak, but because every man carries a silent question in his heart. Am I enough for her? Psychologists have studied this deeply, and the results are clear. Men thrive in environments where they feel respected, even more than loved. Love can feel warm, but respect makes a man feel like a king in his own home. Respect is what makes a man choose to keep giving. It's what makes him want to fight harder for the relationship, to build, to protect, to provide. When a man feels disrespected, he may still stay for a while, but inside, a quiet withdrawal begins. His laughter fades, his patience thins, his spark dims. Many women lose good men because they confuse leadership with dominance. They think respecting a man means surrendering their voice. That is not the case. Respect is not silence. It is tone. It is choosing to challenge him without humiliating him. It is choosing to disagree with him without tearing him down. It is being his partner, not his competitor. And the women who understand this know that admiration is the fuel that keeps a man's loyalty burning. Think about this. A man can work 12 hours a day, fight through stress, deal with the world's pressures, and still come home ready to provide. But if the moment he steps through the door, he is met with criticism, nagging, or indifference, something inside him begins to erode. And yet, if that same man comes home and is met with admiration, a simple, "I appreciate what you do," or a soft smile that says, "You matter," he can face anything the world throws at him. That is the power of respect and admiration in a relationship. Sadly, too many women wait until a man is gone to realize this. They replay the moments when they dismissed him, rolled their eyes, or mocked his dreams. And by the time regret sets in, the respect he craved is already too late to give. The truth is, a good man doesn't demand worship. He doesn't need perfection. What he needs is to feel that who he is and what he does are not taken for granted. A woman who can give him that will never struggle to keep his love because she's giving him the one thing no one else in the world dares to offer: unwavering admiration. Respect and admiration are not optional. They are the foundation. Without them, no amount of love or passion will save the relationship. But with them, a man will give everything, because when a woman makes her man feel respected, he doesn't just stay, he stays devoted, loyal, and proud to call her his forever. Every good man carries a silent burden, a weight he doesn't always show, because he was raised to believe he must be strong, unshaken, and unbreakable. Society tells him that to be a man means never showing weakness, never shedding tears, never admitting fear, and so he carries his struggles quietly. He protects everyone else, while no one protects him. This is why the second thing a woman must do to never lose a good man is simple yet profound. She must be his place of peace, not his battlefield. She must offer him softness. Most men won't ask for emotional support outright. They won't sit down and beg, "Please, just hold me." But that doesn't mean they don't crave it. Behind the armor of strength is a human being with scars, doubts, and silent battles. And when a woman gives him a safe space to lay those battles down, something sacred happens. He doesn't just see her as his lover, he sees her as his home. Here's the truth. A man who feels emotionally supported by his woman will move mountains for her. He will go to war with the world, but he will never go to war with her, because she has become his refuge. But when a woman mocks his vulnerability, when she belittles his fears, when she uses his confessions against him, she doesn't just hurt him, she destroys the one bridge that could have made him open up forever. Once that bridge burns, it rarely gets rebuilt. Think about it. Men are taught to bottle up their emotions, and the only place they hope to find softness is with the woman they love. If she cannot give it, he learns to live without it. But living without it doesn't mean he thrives. It means he grows cold, distant, and detached. That's why so many women cry, "He doesn't talk to me anymore." The truth? He tried once. He tested the waters, and he was shut down. After that, silence became safer than honesty. Women who never lose good men know this secret. They balance strength with gentleness. They understand that softness is not weakness, it's medicine. It's the ability to listen without judgment, to hold his hand when the world feels heavy, to remind him that even warriors deserve rest. That single act of emotional support builds a bond that no temptation, no storm, and no distraction can break. Let me be clear, being emotionally supportive doesn't mean fixing his problems. It doesn't mean taking on his battles. It means standing beside him while he fights them, whispering, "I believe in you." Sometimes it's as small as a gentle touch on his back after a hard day. Sometimes it's listening without interrupting. Sometimes it's reminding him that he's not alone. These are little things, but for a man, they are everything. The strongest men often look like they need nothing. But the truth is, they need a woman who can see past the armor. They need a softness they can't find anywhere else. And when they find it, they will never forget it. Because while the world demands they stay hard, the right woman reminds them it's okay to be human. A woman who becomes her man's peace never fears losing him, because he knows that in her arms he finds the one thing no amount of money, status, or success can buy: rest for his soul. And once a man finds that, he will fight to his last breath to keep it. The third thing a woman must do to never lose a good man is perhaps the simplest to say, but the hardest to sustain. She must never stop showing appreciation and gratitude. You see, men don't often voice it, but inside every man is a quiet scoreboard, not of money, not of status, not of conquests, but of effort. Every sacrifice, every late night, every small thing he does for his partner, he notices whether or not it's acknowledged. And when a woman consistently shows that she sees his efforts, his love deepens. But when she acts as if his sacrifices are owed, his heart begins to close. Here's a reality many women don't understand until it's too late. Men don't leave because they get tired of giving. They leave because they get tired of giving without gratitude. It's not the act of providing that wears him down, it's the silence that follows. Imagine pouring yourself out every day, and the person you love most never even says, "Thank you." That is not just painful, it is soul-crushing. And let's be clear, appreciation is not about grand, dramatic gestures. A woman doesn't need to throw a parade every time her man takes care of something, but small, consistent gratitude is everything. A whispered, "I notice what you do for us." A gentle, "I'm proud of you." Even the way her eyes light up when he walks through the door communicates appreciation. It tells him, your presence matters. Your efforts matter. You matter. But here is where so many women go wrong. They get comfortable. In the early days of love, they gush over his efforts. But as the years pass, the things he does become invisible, like background noise. The bills paid, the car fixed, the protection offered, all of it fades into expectation instead of appreciation. And when expectation replaces gratitude, resentment quietly moves in. Think about this. A man who feels unseen in his own home is the loneliest man in the world. He could be surrounded by people, yet feel completely invisible to the one he loves most. That loneliness doesn't scream, it doesn't break plates, it doesn't announce itself, it just grows slowly until one day he's emotionally gone, even if his body is still there. And when he finally leaves, people say, "But he seemed fine." Number, he wasn't fine. He was starving for gratitude. Women who never lose good men know this. They never stop saying thank you. They never stop showing appreciation for the big things and the little things. They don't assume he knows they're grateful. They show it over and over again, because they understand that men may not always ask for recognition, but they crave it more than they admit. A man who feels appreciated becomes more generous, more affectionate, more loyal, because gratitude fuels him. But a man who feels taken for granted eventually withholds, not because he's cruel, but because giving without appreciation feels like pouring water into a cup with no bottom. If there is one thing women must understand, it is this: appreciation is the glue that keeps a good man's heart attached. Gratitude costs nothing, but it gives everything. And once a woman learns to cherish her man openly and consistently, she won't just keep him, she'll inspire him to love her in ways she never imagined possible. The fourth thing a woman must do to never lose a good man is perhaps the most sacred of all. She must protect loyalty and trust as if her relationship depends on it, because it does. For a man, trust is not just about faithfulness in the physical sense. Trust is about emotional safety, consistency, and loyalty, even when he's not in the room. If he feels betrayed, mocked, or doubted, it doesn't just bruise him, it shatters the very foundation on which love is built. You see, a good man doesn't fear hardship. He doesn't fear sacrifice, but what he fears most is betrayal by the one person he trusted with his heart. And betrayal isn't always another man. Sometimes betrayal is gossiping about him to friends. Sometimes it's mocking his weaknesses behind his back. Sometimes it's breaking his confidence by exposing what he shared in private. These small cracks, left unchecked, destroy the very bond a good man treasures most: loyalty. Psychologists confirm what men rarely say out loud. Loyalty is the number one trait men crave in long-term relationships. Not beauty, not wealth. Loyalty. Because loyalty creates trust, and trust creates peace. Without peace, a man can never fully give himself. He might love her, but he won't stay vulnerable with her. He might stay present, but his soul will slowly retreat. Here's the tragedy: many women underestimate how deeply betrayal wounds men. They assume men are stronger, that they can take it and move on. But betrayal to a man feels like a knife to the chest, because men don't easily open up in the first place. When he finally does, he places his entire heart into her hands, and if she drops it, he never forgets. He may forgive, but he never forgets, and something inside him quietly hardens. On the other hand, when a woman fiercely protects her man's trust, when she refuses to let anyone or anything shake the bond they share, she becomes irreplaceable in his eyes. He knows she's his safe place. He knows she stands with him, not against him. He knows her loyalty is not conditional, it's unwavering, and that kind of loyalty is rare. When a man finds it, he treasures it with everything he has. Think about it. A man could be admired by the world, respected by his peers, and desired by others. But if he cannot trust the woman beside him, none of it matters, because home is no longer home. But when he knows his woman has his back, when he knows she defends him even when he's not around, when he knows her loyalty is stronger than temptation, he can finally rest. And rest is something men secretly long for more than anything. The women who never lose good men understand this principle. Loyalty isn't just about staying faithful. It's about making him feel safe in her presence. It's about creating a bond where he doesn't have to question, doesn't have to wonder, doesn't have to doubt. In that kind of relationship, he flourishes. He doesn't just stay, he commits with a depth that no other woman can ever touch. A good man will give everything to the woman he trusts. But take away that trust, and even the strongest love will collapse. That's why loyalty is not optional, it's survival. A woman who protects trust protects her relationship. And when she does, she will never lose him, because she has given him the one thing the world can't: certainty. The fifth thing a woman must do to never lose a good man is something far too often overlooked in today's world. She must embrace her feminine energy and step into true partnership. Now, when I say feminine energy, I don't mean weakness. I don't mean submission without a voice. I mean the qualities that balance a man's strength: nurturing, patience, warmth, and the ability to bring peace where the world brings chaos. You see, a good man doesn't want another soldier at home. He doesn't want to come back from the battlefield of life only to face another battlefield in his living room. What he desires is partnership, harmony, and balance. Masculine and feminine energies were designed to complement each other, not compete. And when a woman embraces her feminine essence, she creates an environment where both can thrive. Think about it. Men are wired to build, protect, and provide. They move with logic, strategy, and resilience. Women, in their highest form, move with intuition, empathy, and grace. When these forces combine, a partnership is born that is unbreakable. But when a woman tries to mirror a man's masculine energy in every moment, constantly competing, challenging, and pushing against him, the relationship turns into a power struggle. And power struggles never keep love alive. Feminine energy is not passive, it is magnetic. It draws a man closer, inspires him, and gives him the fuel to keep fighting outside the home. It shows up in the way she listens with empathy, in the way she softens his edges, in the way she believes in his vision, but also reminds him to rest, to laugh, to breathe. This kind of energy doesn't weaken a man, it makes him stronger. because he knows he has a partner, not just a critic. Partnership is the next key. Too many relationships fail because one person carries all the weight while the other coasts. But a woman who wants to keep a good man must learn the art of teamwork, not in the sense of splitting everything down the middle like a business transaction, but in building together. It's saying, I see your dreams and I will add my strength to yours. It's not about competition, it's about collaboration. Picture this: a man comes home after facing rejection, stress, and endless demands from the world. If he walks into a space filled with criticism, chaos, and resistance, he feels drained. But if he walks into a space filled with warmth, encouragement, and partnership, he feels renewed. That is the power of feminine energy combined with true partnership. It doesn't take away his fire, it fuels it. The most powerful women are the ones who know when to stand strong and when to be soft. They know when to challenge their man with love and when to let him lead with trust. They know how to create a balance where both voices are heard, but neither feels diminished. This balance creates a relationship where a man doesn't just stay, he thrives. Men don't leave women who make them feel supported, balanced, and alive. They leave women who constantly compete, criticize, and create tension. And that is why feminine energy and partnership are not luxuries. They are essentials. A woman who masters them becomes unforgettable because she doesn't just share his life, she builds it with him. And a good man never lets go of a woman who makes him stronger by being his perfect complement. The sixth thing a woman must do to never lose a good man is perhaps the one most couples neglect as time passes. She must protect intimacy and keep desire alive. Intimacy is not just physical, it's emotional, mental, and spiritual. It's the bond that keeps a man not only loyal, but deeply invested. And when intimacy fades, even the strongest relationships begin to feel like friendships, business deals, or worse, obligations. Men may not always say it, but they need to feel wanted. Not just tolerated, not just accepted, but desired. A good man doesn't stay faithful simply out of duty. He stays because the woman he loves makes him feel alive. She sparks something inside him that no one else can, and that spark is what separates a roommate from a soulmate. The truth is, many women underestimate how powerful intimacy is for men. They assume it's just about the physical act. But for a man who loves deeply, intimacy is proof of connection. It's the moment he feels closest, most accepted, and most understood. It's when his walls fall, when his heart speaks without words. When that disappears, he feels unwanted, unvalued, and slowly detached. But here's what women who never lose a good man understand. Intimacy is not about perfection. It's not about how you look, how expensive the date nights are, or how dramatic the moments feel. It's about intention. It's about showing him he is still your choice every day. It's the way she touches him without reason, the way she leans in for a kiss when no one's watching, the way she keeps playfulness alive even after years together. These little sparks are what keep the fire burning, and intimacy extends beyond the physical. It's the late-night conversations where laughter and secrets mix. It's the quiet moments of simply holding each other. It's choosing connection over distraction, presence over screens, and affection over cold distance. A man who feels consistently desired and connected to his woman has no reason to look elsewhere, because what he craves most, he already has at home. Too often, couples let routine destroy romance. They stop flirting, they stop touching, they stop choosing each other the way they once did. But a woman who refuses to let the spark die never loses her man, because she keeps reminding him, we're not just partners, we're lovers. That distinction is powerful, and it's what keeps a man bonded heart, mind, and soul. Now, listen closely, because this is the final truth that ties it all together. A woman who keeps a good man doesn't do it with manipulation, games, or control. She does it by mastering these 7 things: respect, emotional support, appreciation, loyalty, feminine partnership, and intimacy. These are not tricks. These are not tactics. They are timeless truths rooted in psychology and human need. A good man doesn't need perfection. He needs consistency. And the woman who gives him these things will never have to fear losing him, because she has given him what the world cannot: peace, love, admiration, trust, balance, and passion. So now I want to ask you, the man listening to my voice right now, how many of these 7 truths do you feel are missing in your own relationship? And which one do you crave the most? Share your answer in the comments, because your voice might be the one that helps another man feel less alone. If this video struck something in you, don't just keep it to yourself. Hit that like button, subscribe for more powerful insights into female psychology and relationships, and share this video with a friend who needs to hear it today. Because good men are rare, and keeping them should never be left to chance.